So our next speaker is former U.S. Senator Jeff Bingaman, another leader that many of you in this room, as well as we at the Center on Law and Poverty, have great respect and admiration for. Senator is a man of great integrity. He is a modest man and at the same time a very strong leader. We so appreciate his hard work, and most of all, we have appreciated over the years his votes on issues that are of critical importance to all of us. Senator Bingaman is a native New Mexican. He's from Silver City, and it was in 1978 that he was elected to be Attorney General of New Mexico. 4 years later, in 1982, he was elected to the Senate, and he served there for 5 terms and just retired in January of 2013 after 35 years of service to our state. So now I'd ask us all to give a warm welcome to Senator Bingaman.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for the kind introduction and welcome. This is a momentous occasion, a 20th anniversary for the New Mexico Center on Law and Poverty. It's certainly worth celebrating. Michael did a very good job of detailing some of the good work that the center has done in recent years, which I know all of us are grateful for. I also think it's appropriate that as we recognize all that the center has done, that we recognize the pivotal role that Michael Sanchez is playing in our state at this time in our state's history, and let's give him another big round of applause for the great role. Let me first talk a little about the national perspective on poverty. One of the unfortunate habits that we have in Washington, which you're all aware of, is that it doesn't seem that we can take on any issue without also declaring war on it. That's sort of the political dialogue of the time. We have a war on drugs. We have a war on terror. The Republicans accuse the president of having a war on coal. The Democrats accuse the Republicans of waging a war on women. So it's perhaps an overused phrase. But I do think there have been cases where this declaration of war on a particular issue was a serious effort and was sincerely intended to accomplish a result. And the case that comes to mind, for me at least, is President Johnson's declaration in 1964 of the war on poverty in his State of the Union speech that year. He said at the time, "For the first time in our history, it is possible to conquer poverty." I think he was right that it was possible, and it is still possible. But now, I think 52 years after that speech, we can all see how short we have fallen in achieving that goal throughout the nation. In New Mexico, Michael referred to this, and we're all painfully aware of it, that we have the highest child poverty rate in the country, with nearly a third of the young people growing up in this state living in poverty. And that's what makes the work of this organization, this New Mexico Center on Law and Poverty, so important. In trying to think of what to say today, or this evening, I remembered back that when I first ran for office, I did run for office as Attorney General in '78, before some of you were born. We had a slogan then, which I'm sure people have used something very similar since, but it was Jeff Bingaman for Attorney General, the people need a lawyer too. Well, it's clear to me that today the families and children living in poverty in the state need a lawyer too, and this center for Law and Poverty is that lawyer. So there are many areas of good work and help that the center has worked on. Let me just mention three obvious ones and important ones that are central to well-being of everyone in our state. First, health care. Second, food assistance. And third, education. In the area of health care, there has been a dramatic improvement, and Michael referred to this, dramatic improvement in the last 5 years in access to health care by low-income people here in New Mexico. Nearly 300,000 New Mexicans who did not have health care coverage 5 years ago today do have health care coverage, and that is a substantial accomplishment, and the center deserves substantial credit for pushing that and seeing to it that the state did expand Medicaid. In food assistance, again, Michael referred to the yeoman's work that the center has done in preventing the cutback in food assistance to many low-income New Mexicans that the administration was proposing. In education, of course, we have a very major challenge in the effort to improve both the quality of education for all students, but to also provide adequate funding so that we can expand education services to preschool. That is a front burner issue in our state, and it's very much an issue that the Center on Law and Poverty is working on. So in each of these areas, the center has made and continues to make substantial contributions. Lyndon Johnson's 1964 goal of conquering poverty has not been achieved, and certainly not in our state. But I again congratulate all of those involved in the center and who have supported the center for the work that has gone on to try to achieve that goal in the last 2 decades. I hope there'll be gatherings like this 10 years from now and 20 years from now, and I hope that by that time we have significant additional progress to report. Thank you very much.